Alrighty, let's see. Is this camera a little bit too big? Let me see. This one. Toad to my friend. That was quick. Good evening, buddy. Thank you very much, man. Let me just do this. And let me lock it. You look tired. I am tired, man. I've been with my family the whole day. We just came back. We've been in one amazing place with my kid. Tech Nerd, good evening. Then I've been at the concert 2 days ago. As you can see, I kind of lost my voice. So yeah, looking forward to the weekend. Yeah, for sure. It's always good times, man. I think it's always great times. What did I want to do? I hope you're doing It was metal. It's Cavalera Conspiracy. It's Max Cavalera and Igor Cavalera. Sepultura, if you know Sepultura, well, those two guys have founded Sepultura 30 years ago. So as you can see, they've been in Copenhagen a few days ago. And yeah, this is where it was. In Pumpehuset. Alright, cool. Well, that's what it is. Yeah. Alright, well, let's see what we do today. I basically streamed today just because I promised yesterday. Otherwise, I would have probably skipped the stream as well. Alright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue with this. And that is open sourcing this. Today I'm going to continue to finalize one of the basically use form hook that I wrote for Programmer Network Frontend. It's basically backbone of all forms in Programmer Network. So it's this one. So I made this repository, as you can see, a year ago almost, but I never open sourced it. So actually off stream as well, I was working on this. So today maybe okay. You've been looking for the housing. I see. Yeah, housing here in Copenhagen is insane, honestly. Wait a minute, something isn't right here. What the fuck is going on here? Something isn't right. Oh, my bad. Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, so we're gonna be finalizing this hook, which is amazing, which I believe anyone who understands validation and who appreciates good validation will use this actually library, because I think it's pretty amazing. So I have a little playground here that I just created for the sake of testing this, right? So yeah. Since spaghetti are red, can we eat them with Nutella? You can, yeah, absolutely. Alright, so basically, if I go back here, so we have this role of config, right? We're probably gonna get rid of that, right? And we're gonna switch this to most likely to Vita, right? We'll need to update this. This is fine, I guess. Files, keywords. Yeah. So let's actually see. So what did I implement so far? So if we take a look at the use form implementation, right? So this is the playground, but if we take a look at the actual implementation of that, I think I'm pretty much almost done. So if we take a look at this return thing, so we have the reset, set, validate, and blue or dirty and state. So I think this is pretty awesome already. Let's just early return here, right? That's fine. Drev, Baxi, good evening. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. I hope you're doing well. JS Mania, good evening, buddy. Not much, man. How are you? Okay, so I like that validate field. Let's go through. Handle bluer. Do we really need this as a function? My best man, good evening, man. Yeah, I mean, technically, sure, that's not terrible. It's not useless, right? That we could get rid of that, right? Function, right? So we could do this instead, just so we don't, right? So something like that. So handle bluer. And I've been at the concert, guys, 2-3 days ago, so I lost my voice a bit, so forgive me for that. Yeah, that's okay. I don't dislike that, right? The only thing I dislike here whatsoever is that we could also early return here, right? No, I mean, it's great. It's just, you know, it's metal, so... And there's been a lot of mosh pits and stuff like that, so it's been pretty wild. So let's just earlier return here, right? So I'm gonna ask this question a little bit different. So I'm gonna say if it's valid. Well, we can just basically say, hey, if it's valid, right? Then we wanna return. Otherwise, we can get rid of this, right? It's pretty much going to complain. The TypeScript doesn't kind of understand that if this is valid, that errors are never going to be there, right? So here, I guess we can say, or this, right? That's a little bit silly, but whatever, right? Then we early return here as well. Case, that's great. Okay. So if we go to our playground here, and then soon we're going to actually, when we publish this finally as a final kind of open source library, then we're gonna then we will use it in our storybook basically with Yale, this thing, right, that we started building, right, this this thing that I moved from the programmer network frontend, right? Give me 1 second, actually, I forgot about this. Yeah, okay. So I'm actually looking forward that we get there this stream. So that's great, right? So before we can publish this as a version 1, right, version 001, or we can start versioning it from version 1 and then onwards, right? So I do have a higher order component that I wrote for this, right? So you can use this a little bit better. But I can think that can be better as well. If we go to this playground, which is basically just for testing the hook itself, you can see basically that I have a higher order component here, right? So with AJV input, so yeah, this is the higher order component, and then we create an input that, yeah. So yeah, this can be done a little bit less repetitive. But Popey, thank you very much for the follow. Somebody should exceed, but at least, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what's inaccurate here. This is correct. Nice, man. That's great. That's great. That's great. Leo, my friend, good evening. Yeah, man. Yeah. Had a lot of other things to do. Oh, wait, shit. My microphone is probably very noisy. Wait a minute, because I can see that my wife is cleaning my son's nose with a... It's actually good that I saw this because I have a different input, microphone input. Wait, it should be video broadcast. All right, so now it should be silent again. Okay, good. No, I've been at the concert 2 or 3 days ago, so I lost my voice by singing. All right, great. So yeah, so let's do some stuff with this. So I'm gonna... Well, this was trash heavy metal, so it wasn't really singing. It was more yelling. Okay. All right, let's use the robot as always for those stupid generic things, right? Let's use our Jean code van debug, and let's do this. Can we replace this with beta instead? No, it wasn't my concert. I wasn't playing. It was the concert that I went with my colleagues. All right, so we're gonna do this. Chica, my friend, good evening. We're gonna do this thing, right? We're gonna install beta, yeah. Ah, shit. I don't know, man. I'm not following that type of information, to be honest with you. I don't know. And genuinely, I don't care if they did or not. All right, beautiful. Great. All right. No, it's not Pramaya. I've been at the concert. I love you, man. I mean, nobody can understand our jokes, but... Yeah, you can't understand that, Leo. It's a Balkan type of thing, so... Can't really understand. I cannot find module that is corresponding. Yeah. I just want to deploy this so other people can also install it. Okay. Oh my fucking god, are you kidding me, man? Jesus Christ, dude, I'm in the wrong place. Shit. What an idiot. Okay. Nope. Thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate it. All right, so that's cool. Spam TV. Good evening, buddy. How are you? How is life? How is life? Okay. Oh my god, look who is here. He finally painted his room. Finally. By the way, so I'm gonna be streaming a little bit less because I started. I will start recording a course, a bootcamp course. It's gonna be completely free and it's gonna be on YouTube. And so I've already started with the slides and stuff, just FYI. So I think some of you will like it. This is just preliminary stuff for chapter 1. But just so you know, I'll be working on this, so I might stream a little bit less, but it's gonna be a whole and a very long thing. So that's also why, because it's a full stack thing, yeah. I mean, it's gonna be a very, very long course, and I'm not gonna upload the whole thing at once. I'm gonna be uploading it section by section. It's gonna take a couple of months to finish. But as I said many times, and I don't want to repeat that again, and I don't want to complain, you know, Twitch is useless. Twitch is only fun because some of you guys keep coming back, and I enjoy hanging out with you. But it's a very, very, very unrewarding thing, right? And I think that recording, you know, have a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge in so many things, and I think recording courses instead, it's going to be way more efficient to drive people to Programmer Network and, right, to increase some, because I already also, so it's going to be a course that we're going to have here under courses. I already kind of created the entity. As you can see, it's going to be this software development bootcamp. So I have a good plan and I'm going to execute it. So just FYI, I might, due to that, I might stream a little bit less because I will be recording that course instead, right? It's going to be on Programmer Network. That's why I have built the courses feature, which is empty now. Well, this is not my website. You can go and create a course here as well, right? So that's but it's going to be free always, and I'm never going to try to sell you anything. So. Of course it's free, yes. If I didn't want things to be free, then I wouldn't have wasted 1 year streaming for free, right? All right, so let's shut the fuck up, everybody, a bit. And let's do this. Okay, so... All right, wait a minute. Let's go to our GitHub. Let's go to Yale or whatever, some of those recent libraries we open sourced. And let me just copy stuff from there, because I cannot memorize... I cannot memorize this configuration every single time. Like, there's so many things always, man. It's so annoying. Well, I mean, the thing is, right, so my goal here, Agent Smith, is to try to build a Programmer Network platform. So all this content that I create, which I think is going to be probably top-notch, it's going to be free because my goal will be to get people to use the platform. So that's the value that I'm willing to give in return for that. If I wanted to sell them, which I could, then I wouldn't be streaming ever again, right? Because again, streaming is absolutely useless, right? 100% useless, especially streaming this type of content, right? Don't drop the database, finish that crap, man, so we can have you back. Please. Oh my god, okay. Alright, okay. Zoda, good evening, buddy. I guess we could, like, literally do this and then go here, try this. Okay. I see, I see. I guess, right? What do you mean it's not their platform? I don't understand. What do you mean it's not their platform? People would upload courses here for exposure. That's why. It's the same reason why you would ever write an article on Udemy or Programmer Network and not on your own blog, because somebody has to find your blog and somebody would have to find your course as well. So it's the answer to your question is very generic, because you're asking, why does any platform on the planet exist? Why would you ever write a post on LinkedIn? Why don't you write it on your own blog? Why write it on LinkedIn, right? Why write it anywhere, right? Because a lot of you are making your own blogs, right? Because you think the value is that you have your own blog. Value is not in that. Value is, if you want to provide any value for recruiters to find you and stuff, is actual content that you write, not where you write it. So the only reason why you would ever want to use Programmer Network or Medium.com or whatever is because people actually come there to read it. For your blog, which might be my own blog.xyz, somebody has to find that. You have to write such good content, so Google is going to put you somewhere where somebody is actually going to find you. So that's why, right? Yeah, I mean, but it's not just that, right? It depends on your... So I get your question, right? And it's a valid one, but I think it also depends on what it is that you try to achieve, right? If you want to write content that others are reading, then it makes sense to write it on Medium, on Programmer Network, on platforms that are meant to, where people come to find this type of content, right? So obviously over time, if this project ever succeeds, the content that's going to be written in here is going to be highly ranked, right? So that would be, and of course then recruiters and other developers being there, liking your stuff, sharing your stuff, commenting on it, etc., 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 right? But none of you actually want to write anything, right? I mean, most of the people, right? I mean, that is the thing, right? I mean, people don't have the, it's, I don't think that, I'm not very, yeah. What the hell? Didn't I like install this? Okay, so that's good, all right. Jera on YouTube. Good evening, buddy. How are you? Vita DTS. Okay, I see, right? Not that. No. Where's this DTS thing? Good evening, Brainy. All right, so that's great. So that did something, right? Yeah, it's perfect. If I actually go to what we did here for our Yale ESG. I see. Okay. All right, so why is it? So basically what we're trying to do now, right? We need to also generate the definition files, right? With this. So this is supposed to also the, so source src index, right? Yeah. And that imports most of the types, right? Yeah. And if I see how we did it with the YL or JL, this thing here, right? Files. Yeah, yeah, I see. I'll just clean this up. Right. So yeah, so now we have the definition. So now we have the actual types here. No, there will not be ads, no. I mean, keep in mind, Agent Smith, right, that what's gonna be there and what not, right, is we'll see. But ads in a traditional way that are annoying and useless, never. No. If they're ever gonna be ads, that's gonna be something like tech companies having featured articles about some software they built, right, or whatever. That type of stuff that's relevant, sure, maybe. So if we could, I mean, but again, we're very far, right? I mean, we're very, very far from anything like that, right? Again, this platform is still a pet side project, right? I mean, if I actually, give me 1 second just to check one thing. Give me 2 seconds. But just to show you some statistics, I was just making sure, right, that I don't expose any private data, right? So this is some of my dashboards right now, right? So you can see that today, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people have logged in to the platform. And I was one of them. Yesterday, one of them logged in, right? So you can see kind of, right? So past week, I mean, this is not bad, right? This is not terrible considering we don't have that many users. So this is still okay numbers, right? I mean, and a lot of those people keep coming back, right? Like Elvis is my ex-colleague, Numinex, but you can see like even people who watch me regularly, they don't even bother to log in, right? So this gives a lot of good and bad signals, right? Especially bad ones, right? Because people don't really give a shit about this platform, right? People come to this stream because they can maybe learn something and get some value, and then once they get that, they're gone, right? Which is why I'm saying streaming to what I'm doing is probably gonna evaporate slowly, and I'm gonna focus maybe on courses and something that can provide more value, at least people signing up so they can watch a course or something like that, right? Because, you know, many of you are early adopters, and of course I would expect from you that you write posts, that you help out with the platform, right? But I cannot ask you to do that. I was hoping that people would do that, but people don't have that feeling, and that's what it is, right? But for example, you can see Leo has logged in today. Yeah, but you get, and I don't want to go now. We have 914 users, as you can see here, because I'm removing people who are inactive and stuff like that, right? And then you can see here thoughts per month, users per month, incomplete signups, so people who sign up but they don't finalize their profile, right? So you can see there's 144 out of 914 haven't even finalized their profile, right? Yeah, man. Yeah, of course. I mean, of course, I'm fully with you, man. I mean, if I'm not building this and I would come there, I would be like, all right, you know, what do I do now, right? But for that stuff, you need money, right? I mean, let me give you an example. When Udemy started, right, they paid a bunch of content creators to write courses, right? I don't have that, right? I cannot afford to pay you guys to write articles and to, you know, do whatever else, right? So that's why I say we're gonna keep doing this however we can. I'm not gonna stop for sure. And if it gets us somewhere, great. If not, we're gonna learn a lot. We're gonna have fun. So either way, it's a win. We already won, right? So my perception to it, I have no regrets. I mean, we already won, and I enjoyed the stream and stuff like that. I think that you just need to keep changing things. You cannot keep doing the same thing expecting different results, right? So I cannot keep streaming for another year thinking that, oh, if I stream just another year, now I'm gonna have 100 people watching at once, right? Or 200, or it's not gonna happen, right? You just have to at one point realize that, hey, that's how this platform works, and you have to make a change, right? Because again, it's silly to keep doing the same thing, expecting different outcome, right? That makes no sense. And I can literally see how Twitch works. Like if I don't stream for 4 or 5 days or 3 days, it's instantly like 40 people missing as viewers, right? So it's a very kind of grindy, punishing platform. If you're not streaming every single day, you're kind of already disadvantaged, right? So the whole platform and the way that it has been built, it's kind of very unhealthy for people, right? That's why people are like, those people who do this full time, they're constantly stressed, right? They have to produce like indefinitely, just show up, right? So that's not a healthy way to live your life, right? But yeah, that's what it is. That's how it is. Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, the question is, right, like, you could be the one writing them. There's a bunch of you who've been following me here for a long time. If each one of you wrote one article every month, there would be like 100 articles right now on this platform, right? I mean, even now, right, if I actually can show it somehow, wait. Because, right, like, I cannot, right, you can say, well, dude, like, why the fuck are you not writing them, right? You're the founder of this platform. Why would you expect us to write it if you're not gonna write it? Well, because I have to, then I wouldn't be able to stream or do other stuff, right? Give me 1 second. I'll show you one thing very quickly. Oh, you open YouTube app. Just give me 2 seconds. Yeah. So look at this now. For example, if I go to performance, right, you can see that average position of Programmer Network right now on Google is position 17, right? So that's really good, right? I mean, we are positioned almost, if not already, on the first page in Google, and we have no articles, right? Almost. We have nothing really to show for, right? So, I mean, those numbers are not bad at all, right? Considering that there barely is any content, right? Yeah, so Agent Smith, I'm 100% with you, right? But since you weren't here maybe since day one, since like a year ago, I wanted to build a genuine platform, right? Because you already have a platform like DevTO, which is just a bunch of garbage in there, right? So it's like I wanted to try and build something genuine, right? Something where actually people want to write something that's good, right? But longer I go, more I agree with you. I agree that it seems that there's no other way than just I am streaming on YouTube as well. I don't think it's bigger, no. I mean, I don't know how many people are watching now on YouTube. Almost probably none. I don't know if there's anyone watching on YouTube. Let me see. Hopefully I'm on YouTube now. Wait. I should be. Yeah. There's one person watching on YouTube right now. And that's probably me. Yeah. There's one person watching on YouTube. But it doesn't matter, right? I mean, I'm not, again, I don't care about viewers and shit like that, right? I genuinely don't care. That's not the point. The point is that, but anyway, super good comments. I'm 100% with you. I agree with you 1,000,000%. It's just, right, you know, I have just as much time to focus at least on building this and talking to you guys, right? So it's a lot of work for one person, right? I mean, I had to build everything, front end, back end, infrastructure, so many things, right? So it's, if I try doing all of it, I will do nothing, right? You know, you know, we're gonna focus making open source libraries. I mean, a lot of what I'm doing seems like a random thing, but it's not. Because let me just show you, right? It is a huge plan. It's a because, for example, even with those open source libraries, right? They're all, so if you take a look at this, right? We have libraries, right? We're gonna have this bootcamp I'm recording, right? Courses, right? And then of course the content itself on the platform. All of this basically is going to be labeled, it's going to belong to programmer network organizations. So for example, if you go to this repository, right, which hopefully one day someone will use, and any other, there is always a reference back to the platform, right? So there I am kind of implicitly, indirectly trying to reference from those places to the network, right? By genuinely trying to build something that's awesome. So for example, this thing that we're going to finalize hopefully maybe today and the next stream is super cool. It's actually an amazing, if you're using like Fastify, for example, especially, this is like so good, right? Because you can effortlessly, like, for example, validate your forms now. Super nice. I'm very proud, right? But don't worry, I mean, thank you, but keep in mind, like, if you ask me, it already succeeded, right? I mean, it's you know, building a community and having fun and stuff. It's just, of course, I will try other ways as well, because it would be silly not to, right? Okay, but yeah, that's great. Okay, so if I go to my npm page, my own, so we have Nick, that's also on to-do list for us, for Programmer Network. I mean, the idea would be that the Programmer Network, one of the core ideas initially was this network was decentralized, right? And that somehow, you know, data was always scattered around, you know, well, in a, you know, like blockchain, right? But again, try building a social platform on your own, and then, you know, good luck. You get what I mean? There's a lot of ideas, but there's just so little time, right? If I was doing this full time, the story would be opposite world, right? If there was some investor who would fund my salary, this thing would be very different, right? Van the Noble, my friend, good evening, how are you? Nice, man, good, Nick. Just keep on hacking at it, man. And don't forget that consistency is everything, right? Consistency is everything. Okay, so let's, forgive me now, fellas, let's do a little bit of work, because let's just push this even if it's broken. So let's just push this as a library just so we can, so let's even see if we can publish this right now, right? In some shape or form, right? There's one exception though, is that we have the React. So okay, let's just clean this a bit. We need proper peer dependency. So this is good. We will at one point, fuck, I wish one of you had the time to rewrite this in TypeScript. I would be so happy if some of you could do that. If somebody would have time. I mean, I wrote this so beautifully. It's a beautiful code, a super perfect code almost, if such thing exists. If somebody would have, I mean, this would be like 2 or 3 hours of work. Yeah, ChatGPT can do it, but even if some of you can use ChatGPT to do it, it's because this now is gonna. No, exactly, but I still need to kind of, right, to, I mean, we could try that later, right? Jesus Christ, man. 39.5, that's almost critical, man. I'm happy that you're good, man. Shit, man, that's fuck. Yeah, but my wife and kid are also sick, So it's also been one of the reasons why I haven't streamed past couple of days. One of the reasons. I've been at the concert, then I've been with them, and then they were sick and blah, blah, blah. But I feel you, man. It seems like, yeah. All right. I'll just shut up for a second, just to kind of get this somewhere, right? So, but before we do that, give me a moment. Give me a moment. Just give me a moment here. So we have, so there's one thing that I dislike here, and I'll talk about it soon. I've been working with Angular more than 10 years ago, and I've been then working on Angular 3 years ago when I worked at Technical University of Denmark. I'm familiar with most things, man. I'm familiar with most, at least also UI frameworks and libraries, yes. Vandenoble, I think I'm the same. I rarely get sick, but when I do, it's pretty messed up. It's pretty messed up for sure. Okay, this is great. Okay, just bear with me for a second, please. I just need to... So I love this a lot. We need to write tests. We're gonna generate tests with ChatGPT, obviously, right? Source index, we're getting in the dist folder we're getting. So obviously we'll need to, so what we could do is I can go to my Yale thing and I can, exactly. So what I can do here, I can grab so we can copy, literally just steal some of the things. So actually, I think it's way easier if we do this. And then we do GitHub. Actually, I literally can just copy this whole folder. And I can smack it in there. Yep. Code owners should be me. Beautiful. Yeah, this is literally deploy to Storybook. Not yet, so this job we're gonna remove here. We will not deploy this yet, this one to Storybook, because we're gonna use the other Storybook for this. We're gonna cross-reference two open source libraries here. So I do like this whatsoever. If we go to this fella over here, right? What do we want? Test, build Storybook, prepare. So we probably want to grab the Husky from here as well, because this is going to be open source, right? Programmer network, Luiki. Yeah. Husky, beautiful. Wait a minute, programmer network, Luigi or Yale, whatever. Okay, so publish, beautiful. We're gonna have this type check, test, v-test, lint quiet coverage, test UI, test watch, format, yeah. Shit, there's... Simpson Dev, thank you very much, buddy. I hope you're having a good time, man. Alright, so if we go back here now and paste this fella. Okay, great. So those are the things which are kind of generic. Like, we should probably create some generator or use some existing one just to generate this for us. And then I suppose we don't really need just I suppose we no longer need this, right? Okay, repository, blah blah blah, bugs, license. Yeah, we'll need to deal with that stuff. Dev dependencies. I think we're almost there to publish it. Give me a second. This is AJV. Okay, got it. Then I'll show you guys how you can use this. I think it's an amazing, not because I wrote it, but I think it's super clever. I'll actually record a YouTube course kind of on that, on the whole Fastify. I'm gonna do a little Fastify and use AJV thing. I mean, AngularJS is a framework, right? React is a library, right? So they differ quite a lot in the sense of their scope, right? AngularJS is a full-featured framework, which is very powerful and it's very pattern-oriented, right? So it indeed, right, it comes with a lot of prerequisites on, if you want to use it properly, you need to know some concepts like decorators and modules and dependency injection and event emitters, and right, so it's vastly different. So I agree to a huge extent that it's a lot of boilerplate, right? But I wouldn't say that's necessarily bad. That can also be good, right? Because it so depends really. I do prefer React, of course. Why? Because it's the simplest thing ever built, in my opinion. React is so simple, it's stupid, right? That's how simple it is. That's why I love it. Angular, it's good, but depends what your preferences are, right? I would, for example, use Angular over Svelte anytime, for example. I would use Angular over few things. So I don't dislike Angular. I just think that I think, again, primarily a reason why I use React is because it's dumb and simple. Like, that's pretty much the only reason. Those performance discussions that a lot of younger developers waste time on, etc., as we have came to a conclusion in this stream past year, nobody actually ever faced performance issues in any of these tools, right? So that's that argument in 99.9% of cases, like, yeah, but what if I had to render a list of 2 billion items? What if I had to render a drop-down list of, well, you would paginate it, right? You will never, even in insanity, load more than 50 things at once in your view, right? Unless you absolutely have to, right? But anyway, that's what it is. That's how it is. That's how I think, at least. Is that correct way to think? Who knows? Maybe. Maybe yes, maybe not. For sure, for sure. I mean, exactly. And to be honest, I mean, React does the same. I mean, that's pretty much what all of these things do, right? They do encapsulate you in some way. That's why, for example, Go is such a great programming language, is that it really guards you against stupidity by not providing you too many ways to do the same thing, right? So that is where JavaScript is a beautiful language, and it's a very bad language depending who writes it. If you know JavaScript, you can write it as beautiful as any language. If you don't know it, then you will be prone to the ability to write a bad code is going to open up, and you're going to embrace it, right? So that is the difference, right? Because JavaScript historically has been a language that, you know, had to support so many browsers, so many things, so many runtimes even, right? Now we use it to write system level code, web APIs, right? So with that comes, you know, a lot of history, right? And that is, again, the beauty of Go and some of those tools like this, because they disallow you to make those mistakes by simply not providing you ways to do the same thing in multiple ways, right? You can set up server-side rendering with anything, right? I don't think that's related to I mean, anything can be coming, right? The engineering industry luckily doesn't work like that, right? Things can be coming as much as they want, right? Who cares, right? What's coming, right? React.js is here to stay for many years. And that is just how it is, right? My pleasure, man, my pleasure. Okay, so wait, what do we have here? Can I do like... Ah, wait, didn't we like do that? Oh, we're in the playground, sorry. Ah, I see, shit. I'm not sure what you mean by page. There's no such thing as page in a, you know, single page application, right? I will not, no. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? The CJS build of Node API is deprecated. Where am I using CJS? CJS, what? I mean, programming network is not server-side rendered, and it's not gonna be unless it's absolutely mandatory, right? I mean, I'm not against it, right? I mean, if I mean, again, let me show you one thing. So this course this bootcamp that I told you guys that I'm starting, right? Obviously fully free, as I said. Let me show you one thing from it, that this chapter 1 is in my opinion is going to be the most important chapter, right? That I really want people to convey to people. And one of the things that I always say is this: whom do I find a great engineer or a person to be? Not just engineer, but since we're talking about programming, let's talk about engineers. This is the most fundamental question, right? And I'm not trying to school you or teach you. You might be even better than me. Who knows? I don't know you, right, Nick? But either way, if you can answer this question when you're doing anything, then you can either justify it or not. If you can't answer this fundamental question, then something is wrong, right? So if you come to me and suggest anything, I'll always ask you why. Always. That's my brain literally is trained like that. You can come to me with anything. It can be a programming thing, it can be anything. I'll ask you, okay, why? And many people fail at this so miserably. And this is how you can filter a lot of good and bad ideas in 2 seconds, right? So if somebody would came to me and say, why you're not using, I don't know, Next.js, I would obviously ask why. What would Next.js solve for me right now? Would it make me more productive? No. What would it do, right? Why would I use it, right? And this is the most logical question an engineer can ask one another. If an engineers are not asking this question one another, then they're not engineers. They're developers, right? There's a difference between being a developer and being engineer, right? So if you can't answer the question why, then there's no discussion really. This is great. It's just okay. All right, so let's imagine we wanted to publish this now. So use AJV form, and just give me a second. So we will basically do this. So we will prefix this thing like this, right? Blah blah blah. So shit. So what if we would be like pm publish? What would happen? Let's see. I see. So yeah, so this for whatever reason didn't work. That's a little bit strange. Okay. Give me 1 second. 761 626. Did I publish it? Yeah, I did publish it. Okay, wow. I don't know why it asked me to do it again. Okay, so this is not yet ready to be used. I need to update the README. I need to this. So I just wanted us to update it there. It's public, good. So that's great. So we need to do more work here. But it's gonna be amazing. Super excited for this because we need to test it. So once because this is obviously what Programmer Network is that's what I built. I built this thing in there, and now I'm putting it out. Because I tried to publish the same version twice, I'm sure. And then we got forbidden, right? It's just it didn't kind of exit properly when I published it for the first time, right? Okay, so let me think here. And this playground, obviously, I hopefully isn't imported. This is just the playground for that thing, so that's irrelevant. Okay, that's great, right? That's super. Okay, so say now that we wanted to test this, right? Which I would be very happy with. Okay. All right, let's use the robot and say, this is my custom React hook. How do I test this using lead test and all right, let's do that, right? So here we're gonna say use AJV form.test.ts. TSX, yeah, exactly. Okay, sure. All right, let's grab this fella and let's try playing with it a little bit. So we do this bad boy here. We will pmi -d. I suppose that we have to say, who the hell knows? Yeah, that's the thing. Okay. All right, cool. Thank you very much for the follows. Come on. The thing is, I mean, again, it's all about building something, right? I mean, again, Angular, React, Vue.js, those are super nice libraries, right? It's hard to define which one is better. The one that's better is the one that you are capable in more, right? The one that you're able to provide more value in, right? So the answer in my view is always the same, right? Like the one that's the best is the one that you know best, right? It's very hard to separate at least those top three, and there's, I'm sure, a bunch of other, there's Svelte and a lot of this other crap, right? All of this is great thing. I mean, we built web apps in jQuery 20 years ago, right? And the web still worked. So those modern tools are great. And AngularJS has its place in community. Like, it's very tightly used with the C#, with .NET, with a lot of people who are writing Java are also kind of writing. So AngularJS is more catchy to people who are coming from also object-oriented programming languages which, you know, those people don't know what you know, I don't know, you know, inheritance is the only thing they know, right? So like, so it's not to say that, but I do think that React.js is by far the most used thing, right? Fundamentally, every single one of those tools works like this, right? So look, you have the DOM, right? This is the DOM, right? Document object model, right? This is the DOM. This is the DOM tree, right? This is some tree. And this is the hard DOM, right? This is called hard DOM, right? Then you have some crap on top of it, right? It can be some modern framework. And each one of those frameworks has some rendering, let's call it engine, right? It might be virtual DOM, XDOM, bullshit DOM, right? Who cares, right? And this thing here is some representation of this thing down here in through objects, through references, right? Right? But at the end of the day, every single one of them has to use the DOM API to finally render something. So that's where they all the same, right? So they don't differ. At the end of the day, this thing somewhere underneath says document dot append child document dot, you get the point, right? Well, you cannot build complex products in clean JavaScript because that makes no sense 1% from the perspective of business, right? Imagine if every company was writing its own framework. The internet would not work, it would be way worse. Frameworks don't exist because some guy at Google got a boner and said, let's write a framework. They exist because you encapsulate a bunch of people with finite amount of ideas, so we don't all reinvent our own router, our own rendering engine, etc. That would make no sense. This is not like some childish, right, game, right? This is businesses have to survive, right? Imagine that you go to company X. Imagine how hiring would look like without those frameworks. You go to company X. Now the guy is onboarded for like 2 years or for like a year because there was some super clever guy who wrote his own router. And then there was John, right? John realized that he's the smartest guy in the world, and then it's like, fuck you guy, fuck virtual DOM, right? I'll write my own, right? And then this guy writes his own, right? But then this motherfucker leaves, he wrote a router. Now this router no longer works with what John did, right? You get my point, right? So this argument about let's just use plain JavaScript is I know that maybe you were kidding, but there are actually people who are saying this stupid shit. Like, you will actually literally find people like Kyle Simpson, the guy that I deeply respect. He wrote 7 books on JavaScript. Super clever guy. He's gonna say, we don't need frameworks, man. We can just write plain JavaScript. Come on, man. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, seriously. Come on, dude. You get what I mean? Like, that's too much. I respect him, and he's probably a better engineer than any of us here 5 times, right? But don't say stupid shit like that, right? Oh, let's just write JavaScript. We don't need the frameworks. Dude, like, we have the frameworks, and even then we're failing big time. Now imagine that every company had its own framework. Come on, like, you get what I mean, right? Try building a large-scale application in plain JavaScript, and then when you do that, come back to me. Any of you. I want to see how that went. Okay. Could not find declarations for module. If anybody thinks that's a great idea, go ahead and give it a shot. And what is happening with this thing? Why is it like... Wait a minute, give me a second. Let me go to this project, right? Testing library React, that... Nah. Alright, let's give it to a robot, because I did install this crap, right? And it's still complaining. So that's all great. Like, hopefully we can start writing those tests soon. It's just, why is this fella not actually properly resolving this, right? It's a little bit strange. Maybe it's a mismatch in version. React hooks, wait. Yeah, honestly, maybe, right? I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But it's fine. I mean, it's so good. I mean, ChatGPT is so good, man. It's unreal. Like, yeah, it's so good. It's so good, man. Like, I'm not gonna allow myself to criticize it ever, because it's so good. So good, man. Alright, well, now it's gone. So it did fabricate it a bit, but that's what it is, right? Okay. When did they start to build it? To be very frank with you, man, I don't know. Yeah, that's a little bit weird. Why does it not like my schema? My schema is fine, I think. Let's go to the playground now. No, is this our playground? No, sorry. This is my playground. Yeah, let's maybe just grab this stuff, right? Let's get through the description, maybe. Current, okay, wow, okay. So, all right, let's. That's a little bit weird. I don't actually know what's happening here, but let's fix it. So what if I do pm test? Okay, good. Well, at least something's running. Great. Does this file exist? Setup.js. Okay, so that's what we forgot, right? To move from our other library we released recently, right? So wasn't there like a setup somewhere? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Sure. No problem. So we just gotta do that same thing in here. It's just boilerplate stuff right now. So we're gonna say test and right, and inside of that we're gonna create a setup.js apparently, and we're gonna smack this bad boy in there. And then we're gonna run this again. Okay, great. It does though exist. Setup.js, is that what I created here? Maybe I didn't install this, right? Let's try that, pm-id. Right, all right. Okay, great. Wow, all right, good. Well, okay, something passed, that makes no sense, but I guess we had nothing actually here. So result current.state. Let's try that. Let's try printing that. Okay, I see. All right, well, this sort of stuff I'm not gonna waste time fixing because that's impossible without wasting shit tons of hours. The robot is perfect for this, for debugging this sort of stuff, right? But yeah, we are using render hook, right? That's good. Okay, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Let me just completely primitivize this just to see. I think it's this one. Give me a moment. Background. There you go, buddy. My pleasure. My pleasure, man. My pleasure. All right, that's a little bit awkward. Give me a moment. Now what? Are you kidding me, man? Ah, never mind, never mind. All right, good. Okay, I was just kind of thinking that I. Okay, no, all good. Okay, so there's something wrong in this test file then, because it's not inferring, I think, the types properly, I suppose. Okay, so that's also good. I actually recorded a video recently on YouTube about it. I think a lot of people liked it. You might want to give it a shot, some of you. I recorded a video about jobs and stuff. If you want to, you know, feel free to give it a watch. I think it's an interesting video. Some of you have already watched it, so yeah. I'm gonna record a lot more of those soon. I also enjoy doing that outside. It's super fun, super fun. I'll get better at it as the time goes by, right? Because I don't prepare for those videos. I just press record but I'll get better at that. Just, yeah. Okay, so let's see here. For sure, man. For sure, Antonio.
Basement dweller alert. Welcome IG underscore.
All right, so I think there could be also a mismatch in versions, right? So let's take a look at this. React, types React. Where's the peer dependencies here, right? I think Antonio, there are two fundamental differences, right? It's definitely hard, right? But learning it is one thing, mastering it is a very different thing, right? And that's where the huge difference lies, right? It's very easy to try to jump over a certain experience that one needs. I see a lot of people on LinkedIn who've been coding for a year who are calling themselves senior or this and that, right? And that's just silly and impossible, because you don't become senior by sitting home and learning a language. You become senior by actually working, by having experience to back that up in the context of projects, teams, etc., right? So there's a vast difference between learning something and being able to do it like this or that. It's like saying I know how to play tennis, right? Well, I mean, what do you mean by that, right? Play tennis like who, right? Exactly. Yeah, for sure. I don't blame those people. You know, everybody is trying to oversell themselves. That's just how it is. But I think as long as you don't believe it yourself, and as long as you are humble and kind to yourself, and then that's good. But the fact that people want to sell themselves, I get that, right? That's who am I to judge, right? You have to. I mean, that's the market's fault, not your fault, right? Pretty much, man. Pretty much. Pretty much, Chica. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I don't actually know why this fails, to be honest with you. Might have more than one copy of React in the same app. Yeah, that's very possible, yeah. Because we have this playground as well, but I don't think that's the case, right? Let's do one thing. Issues with, okay, issues with peer dependencies found. I see, okay. Let's actually give this to the bot, right? So because we need to fix this, this could be very well the issue, because we... I see, okay. So let's do this. Because I don't even know why. All right. Dimitrovich, good evening, buddy. Let me just try now. So I don't... Did we have the warnings again? Okay, so there's no more warnings, right? So let's see what happens now. Is it the same shit? Okay, let's try it now. Installing this actually again, right? So there seems to be a mismatch between what this expects and our version of React. Last published a year ago. A note about React 18 support. As part of this. All right, I see. So yeah, that's not gonna work probably. Okay, let's spend maybe 5 more minutes on this and see. But it seems that that thing is kind of some of those dependencies are what? Okay, great. So now it works. What the fuck? Okay. Well, that's what it is. All right. That's what it is. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, yeah. So let's run that test again. I mean, yeah. So that works, right? I don't know why is this one complaining. Wait, because this super strange. Let's give this one to Ajan code van debug and see. Give me 1 second. I need to get some water. 1 moment. Give me a second. Fuck is this one? Are you kidding me? I see. I see. Okay. Okay. I see. I didn't know that. I learned something new. Okay, I didn't know about this type. All right, cool. All right, good to know. Good to know. JS scheme. Actually, I did know because I used it previously in my hook. Of course, I did know, right? Because I think I've used it in my actual implementation right here, right? Okay, well, fair enough. I forgot. Okay. So now we have a working test for this hook. 1. All right, so yeah, so let's give it this and tell it to write more, right? So let's now, okay, write more tests now, more specifically for on change and blur is dirty, etc. We need to test this thoroughly, right? Because this amazing, this little library we wrote is super awesome. So let's try to automate this work so we can focus on something else. Beautiful. Okay, super. So nice. Handle on change event. Okay, let's see. And how can I, did I pnpm test watch? Do I have that set up here? Did I set it up? Okay, beautiful. Okay. So let's smack this bad boy here. Yes, it's the same thing, right? Yes, okay, super. Cannot find name acts. Okay. Okay. All right, all right. That's really good. So this seems to be pretty easy to test. So this library actually is cool. And it's so fundamental that we write those tests for this because in Programmer Network, every single form that you have ever used to send a thought, to write an article, to whatever, they're all using this library. Now we're just gonna nicely test it and all of that stuff, so that's super cool. Okay. Okay, let's see what this handles on Blur event with validation correctly. Okay, good, good, good. Ah, so happy. Testing form reset. Okay, so this is gonna give us good foundation, then we can write more tests ourselves. So this is super nice. Okay, cool. Beautiful. Okay, that's also passing. So what is this dirty state? If you're wondering, let's take a look at that, just so you can follow a little bit easier. Just so we are all on the same page, what the hell are we actually building here? So if I go to Programmer Network, right? We have all of these inputs, right? We have all of these forms. We can, you know, if I go to my dashboard, I can write an article, right? Or create a course, or you get the point. So if I go here, I say write an article, we have all these inputs, right? And all of them have validation, which is amazing. We are using another JSON validator, which is C++ written validator that Fastify is using to validate response and body, URL parameters, query parameter schemas. So a year ago, I realized, okay, well, let's do this in isomorphic way. Let's share the same code on both front-end and back-end because we're using JavaScript. We can do that, right? So now I'm validating the same thing in both ends the same way, right? That's awesome, right? And then at one point, I built this hook that we are kind of open sourcing now. It's this one where you create this form object, you give it the same schema that your Fastify has, so you can even centralize this in a repo and then reuse the same schema. And then you get the validation out of it, right? So if we go basically here, this is just a dummy thing, right? So if we go, if we go basically there, right? If I go to the app, you can see I create an object here, form. And then this form has some properties. It has .set, .reset, blah, blah, blah. So in short, all of my inputs now just utilize this object. So the reason why this is awesome, right, is because most existing libraries out there, they ruin the composability of your components by coupling themselves too much. The validation couples itself too much to the actual inputs of yours, right? And for me, I want my inputs to be as stupid as they possibly can be, as they are. So if we go to our official library that we are open sourcing now as well, if we take a look at our inputs, right, I don't want my input to know anything about validation, right, in that sense. It should just take some basic props and it should, you know, render them, right? So going back to this is what this does, right? You basically create an object, a form object that has all of these properties. And I wrote also this thing, just a simple higher order component, right, that can simplify, right? So the reason why we need higher order component is because otherwise you would need to do this manually every single time, like value form.state dot whatever title dot value error is form.state dot title dot error. You would have to be like on Blur is form dot on Blur, right? You get the point, right? So we obviously, this is a little bit verbose, right? So instead of needing to do this manually for every field, right, we can probably do something like just have a simple higher order component like this with AJV input, right? That's just gonna inject those props for you, right? So you don't have to do this every single time. And then you're gonna input. But the point here is that I will never enforce it to use the higher order component, right? Because there are instances in your forms when your form needs not to be generic, right? So sometimes you will want to have an input like this that has some custom crap in here, right? So this is almost always when you write, it's almost always that you will need this behavior. Like, not everything is always going to be generic. Not everything is going to be wrapped with some other higher order component or something in the same way, right? So that's why, again, the beauty of this library, that you're going to get this form object. You can then pass the value and the error and on blur to any field you want. And I find that super powerful. I find it very amazing. And not to mention, of course, I cannot talk about this long, but custom validators, all of that stuff, super easy, super easy. Never realized meetups were a thing. Meetups are a thing for many years, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So if we go back here, where is our robot? Where is our Jean-Claude Van Debug testing? Is there the flag? Okay, testing form reset. All right, this one didn't actually like it, so that's okay. That's perfectly fine, because I think that yeah, so that's actually good, right? Because yeah, because I don't think that ChatGPT understood what reset in my context means, right? Because it thinks that reset should reset it to its initial state, right? But it's not really. It should reset it to an empty state, right? So that's where it's kind of failing. So this is correct, and that's good. I know that it's correct because I implemented it, and that's how I want it to be, right? It's great. Super. So let's do this once again. We could at this point just move this schema outside of this whole thing, because we are reusing the same thing all over the place. But I will not do that because we might not be reusing that. So I'll just leave it as it is. Okay, let's see. Why is it saying here to be false? It should be true. That's a little bit awkward, yeah. A little bit strange. Why did it write it here? Yeah, I think it's a little bit lagging here. Why would this be an invalid value? That's a valid value. Okay, but there's a lot more we can test here. There's so much more we can actually test. Why is there so much more? Because I'm also using custom validators that I wrote in this other library that I just shared with you, right? So if we go back to this and we scroll to those custom validators we wrote long ago, right? Those ones, right? So we could now test, do the custom validators actually work, right? And this is, I think, what we should be actually doing, right? So we have, you know, is secure string, for example. Yeah. Chica, my friend. Have a great one, dude. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you very much, man. I mean, okay, let's tell it to... yeah, so let's do something like this now. Let's, you know, we didn't test any errors, so Let's test some error cases. Leo, have a great service tomorrow, man. I'll see you most likely tomorrow. I should be streaming tomorrow as well, so have a great one, man. Exactly. So now we're gonna have a test like this, right? See you, fellas. I love you, man. All right, let's go here. Oops. Okay. So let's grab this bad boy here. Yeah, I don't know why it didn't get this, but it's okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, actually, so this is great now because I have my own custom messages, so this is beautiful. Jack, my friend, good evening. Jack is writing on YouTube. This is super good. So this already works. I can see that. And then this one is oh, did I wait? Did I what? Assertion error, line 161. Then let's take a look at that. Even yeah, so this passed. Now let's see. Those are very good tests because those are the important ones, right? So let's see. So we have the title and age. We have title to be string, min length 3, max length 10. Okay. This one is wrong, right? So this error here, so okay, so now this is good. This is where tests become actually very useful, right? Because now I need to go through some of my utilities that I wrote and ensure that some of the things are as they should be, right? So if I get over here, it's now actually in parallel read the tests and the implementation, right? Because this technically is inaccurate, right? So this is more than max length. So basically this is wrong, right? Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so this is greater than 10 for sure. I wonder if it's related to this previous error. Give me a second. No, it's not. No. Yeah, so this is a problem, and this is not good because we do have max length, but we have max length here. Yeah. Very interesting. Okay, give me a second. So if I, yeah, so if we actually grab this stuff, right, and we go to our playground, So if we go to the app right here, and let's just smack this fella over here, right? So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna import this stuff. And I'll say here schema. Here I'll say initial data, title and age, okay? So this is going to be called age. Then if we go to this playground, little playground we've set up here, let's see what happens, right? So if I say 1, should be at least 3 characters long. Should not exceed 10 characters. So why are we not getting the test? So this is good. So we can see that the implementation is in fact working, but there's something wrong with the test, right? Because this thing here should not exceed 10 characters. But there's something for sure with the test that's wrong, right? So this is correct, right? And then we use this act thing. We set the title to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, whatever, 11 or 12 characters, right? And then we result current state title error. Yeah, so we can see that the implementation actually works when we try it ourselves. So let's ask the robot. See what this robot says. Oh, I see. Let's try that. Maybe indeed it's concurrency issue, right? As it's suggesting. So what if we say async here, and also just for fun we say async here as well, right? Yeah, so that's not the case. All right. All right, never mind. So that didn't work. So the async didn't work. The issue though is, right, is that even if I comment those fellas out, right, the issue is still wrong, right? Yeah, so I don't actually know. That's a little bit weird. So let's actually Let's print the result here. Oh, let's not print it there. Let's actually do it like this. So let's let's see how the concurrency here works and how this gets executed. Yeah, so this is obviously the problem, right? Well, so basically the problem right now is that this here should not exceed 10 characters. That's the error that my actual AJV is throwing, because I wrote this error, right? The problem is that even in this one, in the second one, it's expecting should be at least, so it's still validating the min length, not max length. So this first test, this one, is for the min length. So you can see here we have high, title is high, but the min length of this title is 3. So this should fail, saying, hey, title should be at least three characters, right? Max length in this case should not exceed, right? Raps, my friend, good evening, how are you? So yeah, so it's a little bit weird, and we can see that in fact, right, that even console logs are showing the wrong thing, right? So this fellow over here was supposed to say should be at least, it was supposed to say should not exceed 10 characters, right? Okay, so it could be something also with the tests, but I don't think so. It's just when we actually manually try it out, right? You can see that it actually works, right? So this should be at least 3, should not exceed 10, and if I do something that works, it should be fine, right? That's a little bit strange. A little bit strange, right? Assertion error, the given combination of arguments. I was at the concert like 2 days ago, so that's what my voice is coming from. The given combination of arguments is invalid for the assertion you can use, okay? So it seems now maybe that, okay, let's see. Something's happening, so that's good. So something has happened, which is great. Maybe we found a bug, which would be amazing. That's why we're writing those tests. Yeah, so you can see we do have a bug, right? So we can see here that there's no error property at all, right? For this fella here. That's amazing. That's the whole point of tests, right? So we can see result, current state, title, value, hello world, but then the actual error is not there, right? But that's amazing. So now we actually, in fact, this. How are you doing, Raps, yourself? How is life, man? Okay, so that's great. That's not terrible at all, actually. So let's go over here. let's go and fix the actual thing. So if we take a look at set form state, this is the issue. Okay, error now at least is there. Nice, man. Nice. Good to hear, dude. Good to hear. It is a little bit weird. Why am I expecting this? Nice, man. That's very good. Not to be null, but why wouldn't it be handles and blur when the validation correctly? Well, actually, it should be null, right? Or actually, how did I? Give me a second here. So how did I actually decide on the errors? So if I go here. Yeah, that's good. That's correct, right? So that's very good. So yeah, title now has an actual error, which is null. A given combination of arguments, null and string, is invalid for this assertion. You can use an array, a map, or set, or instead of a string. Ah, so to contain probably cannot be used with a null value, right? Because I suppose the error is null now, right? So after we do this, there's a video I recorded. I think that's, if you want to spend 5 minutes, watch it. I think just so I don't, I'm gonna be recording this devlog every week. So if you are wondering what we're doing, that's it. So yeah, our validation, at least by the look of this hook, doesn't work properly, which is strange. It should be, right? So because if it didn't work, right, it wouldn't work here neither, right? And it does work here, right? It should not exceed, right? So that's a little bit weird. See here, value hello world error null. Still error null. Okay. And we're trying the max length. What if we're trying max? Sounds good, man. Sounds good. All right, so no. I know this is related to this testing framework. It has to be, right? To be... Yeah, this would make it pass, right? But that's false. False positive to say, right? Yeah, so this should actually happen. Result current on blur. Still same stuff. Okay. This one worked, right? Yeah, this one worked. And this one doesn't. This one didn't work either. Let's see. I see. So basically this change we just made here. Okay. Oh shit, we forgot to update that test, right? I see what's happening, okay. Okay, I mean, this is good, honestly. This is great. I mean, am I happy that it's happening? Of course not, but I'm happy that it's happening because it's good that it's happening because, well, we do have a bug somewhere, most likely, right? Or the testing framework is bugged, which I don't think it is, right? So here it is, title high, error null, right? So why is the error null? Okay, let's read the code and let's fix it, right? I mean, that's obviously set form state. So this is setting the state, set errors. Where's our handle blur? Okay. So if it's valid or there's no errors, return, yes. Let's run this. Handle blur field errors, age is required. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Huh. Give me a moment here. Just want to try one thing. Perhaps give me 2 seconds. I'm getting back to you. Okay, never mind. So it's not about that. Okay. Let's keep on looking. Field errors. Handle blur. Field errors. Give me a second. But yeah, so this is the problem, right? So why are we not... Oh shit, man. Give me a moment. Just comment this out. Let's just work with a single field just to kind of isolate any additional issues. The initial date. Quick question: as I was working on my final year project, I was trying to figure out how I could call a function that checks if the page is full render and what happened to know. Which page are you talking about? Plain JavaScript or React? How long have I been working on this project? I mean, I'm working on this project only in the stream, so this whole thing, if you have signed up, I hope you did. How long? I don't know. I've been streaming for a year, but we're not doing this project always. If you're referring to Programmer Network, right? Because we're not always doing that. We're chatting, building some of the libraries for it, etc., etc. I mean, you can use, again, depending what it is that you want to do, but you can load, you can use well, technically, I mean, once all of your effects run, right, your page is loaded, but you can use, you know, document and load and stuff like that. I'm sure, right, that you can research that fairly simply, especially with, you know, especially with, what's it called? You have my LinkedIn. Everything is in my Twitch description. Yes, I'm working for 16 years, almost. Seed. Okay, I don't know. This, I'm starting to believe that this is related to this testing framework. This doesn't make any sense, honestly. Yeah, Raps, something like that. Yes. But that's not guarantee necessarily that also React has finished rendering. So you need to see if React has some internal event that you can listen on, right? Because, because that you need to make sure, right? When you say that the page is fully rendered, well, what does that mean, right? Your effects have ran. All of your asynchronous stuff is finished, right? So you can do that basically by introducing a loading state, and if it's no longer loading, then it's all rendered, right? In a way, you could do it this way as well, right? You understand what I mean, right? So you could have, is X loading, is Y loading, is N loading, right? And then you would have, you know, you can have, right? You would have something like this. Right, something like this, right? So it depends what you mean when you say. Then that's great, right? I don't get it. Yeah, this has to be the test, right? Because we can see clearly here that my validation works, right? Okay. But did we mess it up with, okay. So we definitely have a bug somewhere. That's good in a way. All right, guys. Let's maybe round this up tomorrow. I just wanted to stream. How long have I been streaming now? I don't know, maybe an hour or so, 2. Let's see if anyone has any questions, and then we can do a longer stream tomorrow, and then we're gonna fix this, I'm sure, and just finalize those tests and then publish again.
Welcome, Sufo.
say a page. Let me just put this thing here so I can read the comments easier. Okay, let's read the question or a few questions, right? Say a page redirects to a page with components of plain HTML. I'm not sure what do you mean to a page with components of plain HTML, right? If you don't have any side effects, then you can use document. You can always use, right? I mean, you have something that's synchronous, which is that plain HTML that you're talking about that happens synchronously. Then you have things which are not synchronous. You have effects, you have calls to your API. If you don't have those, then you can use, you know, document and load or whatever. Or you can, right? What do you mean it breaks? What breaks? This is a very simple problem, right? Let's draw it up. Give me a second. So you have a web page, right? Or have a view, whatever it is, right? And thank you everybody for your follows. So this is a page, right? And you have some HTML somewhere. You have this static HTML. You have some static HTML, right? Or you have components that render that. But then you have an effect, you have something that is asynchronous, right? This will happen, I don't know, in a second, right? So this is something, your call to your API, right? So when this happens, right? This thing is gonna change this tag to HTML, right? So that's why you need to wait for this, right? Well, if you're not calling the API or anything, right, then you can basically use effect. You can just use the empty effect. You can say use effect. And in here, it's the wrong syntax, but you get the point. Your component is fully mounted, right? That's all you need. Anders, my pleasure, man. Good to have you. Good to have you as well here, man. So if you don't have anything, then you're gonna use just the use effect, right? Nice, man. Very nice. My pleasure. But if that's the case, you just use the effect, because this a couple of years ago was called component did mount, right? So this is not something you will try. This is something that you 100% need, right? So this thing when we wrote React components as classes, this thing was called component did mount, which means component did. Well, that's what it means. Component did render, right? Well, that's what it is. Let's switch back here. All right, do we have any more questions? Anyone that I can help? Anybody that needs anything? Well, have a good night, everybody. Please, as always, make sure to sign up on Programmer Network. I'm streaming a couple of times a week. If you need any help, if you need anything, let me know. And yeah, I guess I'm gonna say goodbye for now, and I'll see you guys most likely tomorrow. You too, Raps, my friend. Have a great one, guys. Cheers, everybody.